A major rumour is beginning to shake the paddock. Max Verstappen is once again at the centre of attention, not because of his dominance on track, but due to the possibility of a major decision that could drastically reshape the balance of power in Formula One. The conversation is no longer about his next win, but about the future of the world champion. Even more intriguingly, this speculation goes beyond a typical team switch. Extreme scenarios are now being discussed, ranging from a sabbatical to the possibility of temporarily stepping away from Formula One altogether. At the same time, top teams like Scuderia Ferrari continue to be linked with Verstappen's future. So where will the reigning champion's career ultimately lead? Will he remain loyal or choose Ferrari's offer? Let's discuss. In recent times, rumours about Verstappen's future have grown increasingly strong. Initially, many believed he would remain in Formula One without interruption, continuing his career consistently as he has done so far. However, that certainty is now beginning to waver. What once felt almost guaranteed is now facing alternative possibilities, even if still with a relatively small probability. His father, Jos Verstappen, has suggested that Max is still most likely to stay. According to him, the biggest challenge is not driving ability, but psychological adaptation to the new direction of Formula One, particularly cars that are seen as no longer delivering the same racing sensation as before. This is a crucial factor, because for a driver like Verstappen, the enjoyment of racing is everything. The Formula One calendar will also play a role in shaping this future, especially with key meetings involving the FIA and teams regarding new regulations. While the changes may not be revolutionary, they could still impact driver comfort and overall experience. When discussing potential team options, Ferrari almost always emerges as one of the most attractive and prestigious destinations. However, the reality behind such a move is far from simple. Ferrari currently has a strong foundation with a lead driver like Charles Leclerc, who is known not only for his speed, but also for his loyalty and long-term commitment to the team. On the other hand, Max Verstappen's character reflects a different approach. He is widely known as a highly pragmatic driver, focused on one thing above all: winning. For Verstappen, emotional factors are not a priority. As long as a team can provide the most competitive car and the best chance to secure titles, that is where he will go. Even so, the possibility of Verstappen joining Ferrari remains open, particularly if major changes occur within the team structure, such as the potential retirement of Lewis Hamilton, or a shift in Ferrari's long-term strategy. In such a scenario, the door for Verstappen could open much wider. However, the biggest challenge is not just the availability of a seat, but how Ferrari would manage two world-class drivers in the same garage. On paper, a Verstappen-Leclerc pairing looks like a dream team capable of dominating Formula One. Yet behind that potential lies significant risk, internal conflict, clashing egos, and complex team dynamics, factors that have historically backfired even for a team as iconic as Ferrari. Moreover, it is almost certain that Max Verstappen would not make a major decision like switching teams without strong and concrete guarantees. He would require absolute assurance that Scuderia Ferrari can provide a car capable of competing for the championship from the very start of the season, not merely a long-term project filled with uncertainty. Verstappen's character has been clearly defined throughout his career. He is a driver who comes to win now, not someone willing to wait years to build success from the ground up. On the other hand, there is another equally compelling aspect to consider: personal freedom and career flexibility. Throughout his career, Max Verstappen has been known to enjoy competing in racing events outside of Formula One, such as endurance and GT racing, which give him a broader outlet for his passion. If he were to join Ferrari, there is a strong possibility that such freedom would be restricted due to the full commitment typically required by a team of Ferrari's stature. However, if Ferrari can provide a truly competitive championship contending car, those limitations would likely not be a major obstacle. Ultimately, the possibility of Max Verstappen joining Scuderia Ferrari remains open, but it is clearly not the easiest scenario to bring to life. It is an enticing option, arguably one of the most exciting prospects for Formula One fans, but behind that appeal lies significant complexity. From internal team management and long-term strategic direction to maintaining balance between drivers, every element would need to be handled with precision to avoid harmful friction. If all these pieces can come together, starting with a genuinely competitive car from the beginning of the season, a strong technical and operational structure, and effective management of potential internal conflicts, then a Verstappen-Ferrari partnership could evolve into one of the most dominant combinations in modern Formula One history. However, if even one of these key elements falls short, the situation could quickly turn the other way. Instead of ushering in a new era of success, the partnership could trigger complicated internal dynamics or even prolonged conflict that ultimately hinders performance on track. Ferrari team principal Frederic Vasseur is reportedly sending strong signals about his interest in Max Verstappen. In a statement that drew considerable attention, Vasseur openly expressed his admiration for the world champion and did not rule out the possibility of bringing him to Scuderia Ferrari in the future. He described Verstappen as the type of driver every top team wants. According to him, the combination of speed, consistency, championship mentality, and the ability to extract maximum performance from the car places Verstappen in a league of his own. Max is an exceptional driver. He has everything: speed, composure under pressure, and a natural instinct to win. Personally, I rate him very highly as a driver, Vasseur said. He further hinted that Ferrari always keeps its doors open to the best talent on the grid. He emphasised that if there is a realistic opportunity to sign Verstappen, Ferrari would seriously consider it. If you want to build the best team, you have to consider the best drivers, and Max clearly falls into that category. Would we want to sign him? Of course, every team would want him, he added. Even so, Vasseur acknowledged that such a decision is far from simple. Factors such as driver lineup composition, team balance, and long-term development direction remain key considerations for Ferrari before making any major move. These statements further reinforce speculation that Verstappen joining Ferrari is not merely an empty rumour, but a real possibility, provided all conditions align. In the end, everything comes back to one fundamental principle. Verstappen wants to win. He is not particularly tied to any specific team, nor is he driven by emotional factors. His focus is on championship opportunities. Whatever decision he ultimately makes will depend heavily on who can provide him with the best car. So, with multiple options still on the table, even the possibility of taking a break, if Verstappen were to leave his current team, would the most logical step be joining Scuderia Ferrari or stepping away from Formula One altogether? And in your opinion, could Verstappen and Leclerc truly work together as a dream team at Ferrari? Or would it risk creating major internal conflict? Share your thoughts.